In Aba, between 2007 and 2010, the roads weren't just dangerous, they were a battlefield. A single man built an army of 3,000, turned the commercial heart of Igboland into a killing field, and made the government look helpless. His name was Osisikankwu, and for 3 years he was the law. Aba, the commercial engine of the southeast, ground to a halt between 2007 and 2010. It wasn't a recession or a natural disaster that emptied the streets. It was fear. At the center of that fear was Obioma Nwankwo, a man from Ogwe in Ukwa West LGA who had built a kidnapping empire so vast that it operated like a parallel government. He recruited over 3,000 men, not just foot soldiers, but a structured network of informants, enforcers, and negotiators. Their specialty was abduction. Their target was anyone with money, and their reach extended from Aba through the Ngwa villages all the way to Obigbo in Rivers State. For 3 years, they dictated who could stay, who had to leave, and who would pay to breathe. The gang's methods were brutal and systematic. They hunted the affluent, the expatriate, the official. Ariaria Junction, once the busiest market intersection in the region, became a ghost zone as residents packed their belongings and fled to villages. Landlords were snatched from their homes. The managing director of Khalifa Hospital escaped narrowly, fleeing Aba after a close call. A surgeon who had saved countless lives became prey. The state government, led by Governor Theodore Orji, appeared helpless. Security forces engaged in gun battles that often ended with more corpses than captives, but the kidnappings continued. The audacity of Osisikankhu's gang knew no borders. In January of 1 year, they ambushed a vehicle carrying 3 British nationals and a Colombian contractor working for Shell's AFAM 6 power plant. They killed a mobile police officer escorting the expatriates, then whisked the foreigners into the bush. Ransoms ran into hundreds of millions. In April and May of another year, they snatched 2 Germans, 3 Chinese, and 9 Nigerian staff of the Nigerian Steel Company in Aba. The government paid millions. Journalists were not spared. In July, 5 media professionals, including the Lagos State NUJ chairman, were kidnapped returning from a meeting in Uyo. A source said number 30 million changed hands before they were released. The human toll went beyond the headlines. Families fled their homes. Children missed school. Businesses shut down. A once thriving commercial city became a place where the only certainty was uncertainty. My own parents urged me to return to the village because the news from Aba was too grim. The few who stayed lived in constant dread, never knowing if the next car blocking the road meant business or a bullet. It was not just a crime wave, it was the collapse of basic security, a vacuum that Osisikankwu filled with terror. Today, the era of Osisikankwu is a cautionary chapter in Nigeria's history, a reminder that when the state retreats, criminality advances. The gang was eventually dismantled through a combination of security force pressure and the inevitable attrition of its own brutality. But the scars remain. Aba rebuilt, but the memory of those years lingers in the stories people still tell. They serve as a stark lesson. Peace is not a given. It is a fragile achievement that must be guarded with the full weight of law, community, and justice. When the state fails to protect its people, the people learn to fear the knock on their door more than the collapse of their government. Osisikankwu didn't create the vacuum, he just filled it. The question his legacy leaves us is not how he rose, but why it took so long for anyone to respond,